What does the adoption of the SABC inquiry's final report mean to South Africans? To what extent have the developments at the public broadcaster impacted its credibility? What will it take to bring back leadership stability to the SABC? And are music artists still fully behind Hlaudi Motsoeneng? What time is it? It's question time. Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Boradcasting Act. But breaking news before we go into today's show. In Lesotho, the Prime Minister, Pakadi Motsoeneng, has been removed. Joining us on the line from Lesotho in Maseru, my colleague and our correspondent, Hlaudi. Hlaudi, please just break to us the breaking news.
Well, what is going on is that the Prime Minister is not yet removed, but the vote of no confidence in the Prime Minister and the government has been passed with a resounding aye from the opposition. There was a brief debate, long one from the opposition side, who put up 3 MPs who debated why it is that they want the government out.
Whoa, we've just lost Hlaudi there. We'll try to get her back on the line there, breaking to us the news from Lesotho, where a vote of no confidence has just been passed on the Prime Minister, Dr. Pakadi Motsoeneng, through a coalition of opposition parties there. But, Hodzo, like I said, my name is Boradcasting Act. The final report of the ad hoc committee inquiry into the SABC has been adopted. Urgent attention has been put on the appointment of an interim board with recommended names already handed over to Parliament. Among the inquiry's recommendations is the formal dissolution of the board, setting up an independent forensic investigation, and the amendment of the Broadcasting Act. Meanwhile, several political parties have questioned Communications Minister Faith Muthambi's fitness to hold office. Amongst others, Muthambi is criticized for a role in the appointment of Hlaudi Motsoeneng. As the COO, Motsoeneng made headlines last year by implementing the 90% local music content on all SABC platforms. Many artists continue to sing his praises, though, over this controversial move. We are live, and therefore you can call us on the numbers to dial there, 089-110-4210, our Twitter handle at QuestionTime24. And just a reminder of breaking news there from Lesotho. Lesotho Parliament has passed a vote of no confidence on the Prime Minister, Dr. Pakadi Motsoeneng. And he had said, actually, that if a vote of confidence, of no confidence is passed against him, he will voluntarily resign before he's actually taken off. So we shall wait and see there. We just lost contact with our correspondent, Hlaudi. Perhaps we'll do that later. But on our show today, Teboho Statu is the president of Musicians Association of South Africa, but he's also an activist, and we talked to him in various capacities. And a musician. And hey, where's the other twin?
No, they're around. Actually, it's interesting. We're working on a comeback, a single that should be done in about 2 weeks in our studios. And yeah, then we'll let the news go out there. Okay, so twins are still tight? Definitely. And, yeah, and as an individual, I'm a gospel musician. Okay. So music is my first love. All righty. Okay, no, that's fine. We're talking today SABC matters. Let's just controversial decision. I saw that you're talking about controversial decision, 90%. Long overdue. How can it be controversial? Okay, that's the view of Massa, obviously. And every loving, patriotic South African. Okay. How dare you play foreign music in your own land? Good. Be proud. I agree with you. Now, what is your position in as far as the status of the SABC is concerned? Today, the management of the SABC is still appearing in Parliament. Losses of billions of rands and, things like that. You guys were behind the SABC's management for quite a while. We still are behind SABC and its brave management. Okay. It took the stewardship of Hlaudi Motsoeneng and his team that I commend, your Agumas, to really steer the ship the right direction.
But is this the right direction when there are losses of billions of rands?
No, well, the report talks about 150 million rand in 2016 of money that is, has been recovered by the SABC, owed to the SABC. So I think the SABC is on the right trajectory. Remember, the losses can be also sort of explained because of losses come in different ways. Depends what a loss is, but as far as we are concerned, and we've been told in terms of the monies that we were told that the SABC lost, it was about programs like a funeral. Who knows who's going to pass on tomorrow? So a funeral of a statesman, of a highly regarded, let's say Comrade Nelson Mandela, for instance, nobody had planned that, and you've got to broadcast that, and that is costs. And I'm sure there are other areas where you spend money that you didn't envisage to spend money on.
Okay.
So unfortunately, the whole Hlaudi SABC saga has been over-politicized. Okay. There's too many small and political parties meddling in, putting their small dirty hands into the whole pie, because you have got to listen to the majority.
Okay. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, we'll be taking your calls 089-110-4210, our Twitter handle @QuestionTime24. We're talking the SABC. What are your views? What are your questions? Debucho here says they are very happy with the SABC management. What are your views out there? 089-110-4210. This is Question Time.
The only way to pour the perfect beer, this professional barman would tell you, is into a glass tilted at exactly 45 degrees. Oh, bless you. Bless you, sir. Bless you again. Well, we'd say the perfect way to pour a beer is at this angle, straight into your mouth. Get a case of Amstel Lager 330ml handies for only $179.99 from Tops at Spar.
Welcome back. You're still watching Question Time. My guest today, Debo Statu. He's the president of Musicians Association of South Africa. And on the line from Mpumalanga, Peter, welcome.
Sanibona kunjani?
Ngiyaphila njani baba?
Hayi siyaphila.
Yeah.
Sine problem man la ukuthi izinto zenziwa kanjani man, izinto seziyabheda kakhulu la eSouth Africa. Ubaba uselinayo e-studio lana urepresent ama-musicians. But uma ungambuza ukuthi when last did he has the album, uzakutshela ukuthi mhlambe 5 or 10 years ago urepresent ama-musicians. Ukhuluma nge-SABC, but he's the praise singer ubaba uHlaudi. So I don't know ukuthi niwaphika kanjani ma analyst or my guest win, but ngicabanga ukuthi is the right person to talk about SABC. But if the show will only focus on Hlaudi Motsoeneng, you needed uthola lelinye side from another person. Ngiyabonga.
But Peter, ngiyabonga nam. Well, Peter, they're questioning how on earth do you have this man in your studio there speaking about SABC matters? Well, he's part of civil society. He's got an opinion on the matter, and indeed,
it's a free country. And I've got 22 years under my belt in the music industry.
Sure.
And I'm sure Papa Peter must just get my profile.
Okay.
And he'll understand.
No, that's fine. I mean, we're not questioning your credentials. Yeah. But what I'm asking you is, when everybody is saying Hlaudi must fall.
Everybody?
Well, everybody that I'm hearing.
Counter-revolutionaries.
Okay, well, that. When those people are saying Hlaudi must fall, you guys say, no ways. Hlaudi must not fall. The SABC...
Hlaudi must rise.
Yes, Hlaudi must rise.
And the SABC management. And I don't want us to attribute this to... yes, it was led by Hlaudi. but I'm sure it took a collective decision at the same time, because of when you lead people, they must share the same vision with you. Let me tell you, we've been, 22 years in democracy, and with all the predecessors, with their PhDs and whatever, nobody could actually think that this country needed this. I'll give you a dictator of note, Mobutu Sese Seko, who was not such a great guy. However, he did something great for musicians in Congo. And that is why you saw Congolese music grow the way it did, and it's still growing to this day. So who are we? We are South Africans before we are part of the world. I mean, look at the, how I don't know as many African musicians in my 22 years. But Peter, 22 years in the music industry doesn't come cheap. I know mostly of American musicians. Musicians are musicians, and most of them are brothers and sisters. But at whose expense should they be promoted? At my expense?
No ways. Okay.
So I'm a patriot, number one. And every South African patriot or loving South African will understand that this will change the course of history for every musician, even those that are coming.
Okay, let's take Samuel. Samuel, you are in the Western Cape. Welcome. Hi. I'm very well. Thanks for the call, Sam. Daddy.
Hauna ntwana le ona du moteno wa utlwa le kgwebo le business wa loud SABC za dinlena uno bua lena o lose million tse ngata mara motho a ene bla ha ke music mpulela ona jena haiba batho ba etsa di CD tsa musika ba ka etsa CD tsa musika ka nyeo ya hae o tla fila ka mogozwa
ke a gola ena o mthabisa ho hang twenu
ya motho hana nthatsere motho ha twe pla mo mo fafela ya time ya mahala motho
That is Samuel. Samuel, they're calling us from the Western Cape, emphasizing another point that, hey, look, don't call this guy Tebuho there. He's got nothing to offer us. You're just giving him airtime. But well, Tebo, you're here. Let's talk about the fact that there's a view out there that this Hlaudi Motsoeneng that you are very much fond of has actually caused the crisis which the SABC is finding itself in today.
Okay. Number one, I never knew Hlaudi personally up until we started engaging on the 90% issue. He became my hero since that day. So, crisis. What crisis are we talking about?
The crisis that there's no board today.
Well, it's a democracy. I like what your opening story. The breaking news that Lesotho, the leader of Lesotho, was removed by what? Vote of no confidence.
Yes.
People talk in this country about removing President Zuma. Then the same thing must happen. So we must not look at democracy when it suits a few people, and then we want to discard democracy when it doesn't suit people. Number one, this thing is very political. It's very personal. And I can tell you, I've got friends that today don't talk to me. So that's why I'm not shaken by negative people who phone in the show and talk whatever. But the fact of the matter is that people will always draw the line because of you associate with certain people. Even let's talk about the factions in the ANC. Some people cannot have coffee together these days because of bar or force among. That's nonsense. We fought for the freedom of association. Our predecessors did the same for us. They fought for that freedom. So I will associate with you, oh my, please. There's no crisis. The fact of the matter is that people want Hlaudi's head. And I don't care if Hlaudi comes back to the SABC or he doesn't come back, but the SABC needs him. The fact of the matter is that the 90% will stay.
Okay.
And, who dares touch it, then they would have touched us.
Okay. John, you are in Cape Town. Welcome.
Yes, hello. I just have to say the guest is now defending corruption. The whole board, except the people that resigned, were corrupt. Hlaudi was corrupt. There's an overspending, according to today's committee, 500 million rand, which they can't account for. Now, coming back to the 90% local music, I've got no problem if they play Khoza music on Khoza radio or Khoza music on Zulu music on Zulu radio, but I don't want to on my Afrikaans and English radio. I don't want to listen to Xhosa music or Zulu music. That's not my taste, and I don't want them to play Boere music on Xhosa music. So let's go back and say, listen, leave the English and Afrikaans radios and TV stations that they want to play. If you want to play your own music on your radio, that's good enough. But Hlaudi is a corrupt man. He's a dictator. He was running the whole show, and he was running it into the ground. And if your friend says he's a missionary, he must say, what about the corruption? Thank you.
John, before you go. Oh, John is gone.
He was going to run away.
John, thank you very much for the call, but I had some few questions really. Why do you want to put us in boxes? Why shouldn't I get to know or hear Boere music on Lesedi, you know, and the same happens across the other lines? How are we going to have the social cohesion and understand each other if we don't know what each other or other one of us like?
Yeah,
but anyway,
I like John. You know, he's honest about his racist attitudes. You know, this is just John is a macrocosm of many white South African racists who want to sweep racism under the carpet. This is not about Afrikaans music or about Xhosa music or whatever, like as he puts it, or his Xhosa. This is about a nation. And you're quite right. If he thinks he's a South African, why does he want to separate according to the music? I listen to Boere music, but he wouldn't listen to my music. But for obvious reasons, he's a racist. And these are the people who are taking Hlaudi, and whose Hlaudi and his team has shaken the boat because of they're not going to make as much money as they were making money. Now, independent young artists are going to be making a living for themselves.
Okay, let's go to East London. Gift.
Yes, Mbo, how are you?
I'm well. Been a while.
I'm fine, Mbo.
Yes.
Mbo, you know, I'm a black South African, and I'm a viewer in your show, Question Time. We watch this show, we comment on this show, we ask questions. You see your guest there today in your studio. This guy is a joke, man. Firstly, I don't understand why he's talking about SABC. Now, today, we understand, and we are following what is happening into SABC. This guy, he doesn't know nothing about what is happening to SABC. Even today, we were watching a parliamentary something today about SABC. We know what is their fruitlet, what is their loss. About 1.1 billion. This guy don't know nothing. You're supposed to call this guy in the studio. He must speak for the musician because he don't know nothing. This guy is a joke, man. But thanks a lot.
And gift. No, but this guy has been talking a lot about the SABC. That's the reason why we actually brought him here, you know. Yeah. And there are losses that have been recorded.
Yeah.
The SABC today doesn't have a board, and even the management is half. You know, there's just a lot of uncertainty. And you are happy with that?
No, well, I'm not happy with whatever negative elements are there, but I will not blame them on one man. So it's like in this country when everybody blames everything on Zuma. And I look at, I say, this, the very people who are saying, I don't know anything, they know nothing because of, number one, they don't understand transformation. They are used to the status quo. They are used to a comfort zone, and they're scared of transformation.
But this is not about transformation. It's about money that has been lost irregularly.
Yes, they are against their losses in any business.
Yes,
they are against their losses. Yes. So, but the issue has been sort of moved from the issues of the SABC to one man. That's what we're talking about. You see, the ad hoc committee, for instance, number one, I don't really believe some of the members of parliament are very dubious for me. Because of, number one, when you find that a person has been attacked that brings about transformation, then people start to politicize everything because of who's been singing a lot, who's been taking the SABC to court over and over again. In fact, this country, sometimes I regret that some of the sunset clauses where you've got a government of the majority, but at the same time you're going to be governed by courts. People want to overturn the majority decisions through courts. Courts are good to as something that make sure that people do not abuse power. But the moment you start to want to run a country through courts, for me, it's a no-no. And I'm not scared of criticism from whichever quarter. I know my story. SABC was in the right trajectory. SABC needs Hlaudi, and some of them, that's why, Mandoza, I like Mandoza's song when he says, so Bulalo Van Damme. I think what he meant Van Damme, Pumzile Van Damme, in the parliamentary committee, because she's always just on a trajectory, whatever she's focused on is Hlaudi SABC, just because of obvious political reasons. So I'm not scared.
Okay. Let's go, Emonti. Sbusiso.
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
Yes, how are you?
I'm well, thanks for the call, Peter.
I'm blessed, man. It's so that in East London.
Yes.
Yes, I'm not impressed with your guest today.
Okay.
I can't believe he's here to defend the corruption. I mean, we all know what Hlaudi had done. The court has proven he was not fit for his office. We have seen the investigation by the Parliament Inquiry Committee, and we've read the newspapers, we've watched the news. And if a young man like him, who's got such a bright future, is there to defend corruption, it makes us to be worried. So, like I've said to you, I'm a good follower of your program, Question Time. Whenever you bring guests, it's very interesting. People are good up. But this time around, this guy, man, I've listened to his opening remarks. He even mentioned that Matiba funeral was not planned. No one planned for. How can you say that? How can you say that thing was planned a long time ago? If you're watching the news and all that. But what I'm saying is that this guy is not glued up, and I'm not impressed that he's defending the corruption. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, so in East London there. Well, people are not impressed that we got you. But I mean, we bring both sides of the story all the time anyway. But talk to us about what did you think of the inquiry? All the things that were said there.
I'm a Democrat. I respect processes and law, and I think the inquiry has gone through whatever it had to go through, and then the inquiry is complete, and there's a report, and in as far as we are concerned and we are aware, Hlaudi should still get his day, whether it's a disciplinary action. So it's not the counter-revolutionary.
Do you think
those who call because of the remember, we've got black people that are very scared, that were messed up by colonialism and apartheid. So whatever, I was telling somebody about black consciousness, how I experience the lack of I see how colonialism and apartheid has messed up most black people.
Okay.
Xenophobia, when you talk, just to digress a bit, this is not xenophobia, what's happening. When you say one Nigerian, when they commit crime, it's a criminal issue. You can't now go and attack other Nigerians because of that. And if you call it xenophobia, why aren't they attacking white people who are Italian, who are foreigners, who are Greeks, who are even Chinese? They don't. They only attacked people of their own. So this the kind
lack
of callers lack of PC, the kind of callers we get, it's like they were mobilized to say call in. But I'm not even moved
now,
by
tell
that.
me, Tebo,
so yes,
do you think that Hlaudi is qualified
definitely
to run?
Qualified.
Okay, let me finish my question.
Definitely, without a doubt. We don't need a PhD. You need a vision. Finish and clear. I told you when I started, nobody in all the 22 years of my democratic government had the balls, had the courage, the bravery to do what Hlaudi and his team did. And I don't care. You don't like me for that. I will stand by Hlaudi and his team, whether he's in the SABC or he's out. So it will be immature of anybody to dislike me because of that.
Okay, what do you think?
Go ahead and
what do you think the new, the interim board?
In fact, I was talking to the portfolio committee secretariat this morning. I was saying, okay, I see their names that are banded around, and some of them are of cowards who were in the previous board. And I said to my team, I said, we should have actually put forward the names, but we know that the process is just for the political parties. So we will be going out to lobby all these political parties, including the DA itself and everyone, to say, we need representation in that interim board. Representation, I mean, from the sector. Because of, the kind of people who don't understand the culture of this country. it's long overdue.
No, but you musicians are not united yourselves.
It's an excuse. Huh? I'm
how many organizations do you have out there? Who do they talk to?
That's fine, but I'm the president of the Musicians Association elected. Even those that says, hey, we don't know where he's coming from. Ask my constituency. Then they will tell you where I'm coming from. They're not calling because they are comfortable with what I'm saying. Sure. Because I represent their mandate. Listen, the fact of the matter is that it's an excuse that musicians are not united. We may have different structures, but we are very united. So that's number one. Number two, we as the musicians of this country, I mean, it pains me to see musicians die pauper. They don't die pauper because of they like it. It's because of if their music is not being played, it means there's no money in their pocket.
And you don't think there's any other manager at the SABC who can continue with this 90% without Hlaudi?
You know what? If we've got board members like your Chris, who's my neighbor by the way, Chris and I do, and others who are coming back because of maybe they've got a certain agenda, then you're going to have them give management a tough thing. So I don't think there's anybody who's brave enough to continue with this course. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate your time, and we'll call you again. Don't worry.
That's fine.
Yeah. That was question time for today. A big thank you to my guests and to you for watching the show. From me and the entire crew, Matabasion, Alietse Handle, Aibechot.
SABC News brings the world closer to you.